Isimangaliso Wetland Park is a natural work of art in progress. It joins 16 different parcels of land, a patchwork of state-owned property, commercial forests, and former military sites. The park is managed by the Isimangaliso Wetland Park Authority. It's overseen the removal of some 12,000 hectares of alien plants and commercial forests and the rehabilitation of wetlands and age-old sand dunes. There's also been a massive infrastructure build with new fences and roads, water and electricity supply upgraded. New game was also introduced into the park. Andrew Zalumis is the CEO of the Park Authority. He took us on a tour of an as yet unopened part of the western area of the park.
You know, if you come to Isimangaliso and you were here 10 or 12 years ago, it was 16 separate parcels of land. It was full of plantations, full of old infrastructure. You know, the military been here developing missiles. So one of our key challenges has been the issue around rehabilitation. And what we're looking at here is a pan that 6 years ago wasn't here.
The area was covered by alien plantations and there was a major drought. But since thirsty eucalyptus and pine trees have been removed, fresh water has begun to seep out from the bottom of the dunes. It formed little pans throughout the eastern shores area.
It's a wonderful experience to see plantations going, these trees that drink lots of water. They're planted here in the 50s, the same time as people were forcibly removed. And they're nicknamed locally as soldier trees because they're in straight lines. And when those trees came out, so you had soldiers arriving to do military stuff under the apartheid government. So in many ways, Isimangaliso has a history that's not good. You know, you had apartheid here, you had plantations, you had removals of people, and yet because of that history it's given a huge opportunity for a peace industry and restitution at all these different levels, and to forge something out of this past that actually becomes a people's park.
Local communities participate in the park's redevelopment, not just in terms of jobs, but in terms of reclaiming their history and their future.
So year on year, the park's divided into grids, and local SMMEs are employed. They employ local people and they come through and they clean. So it's a huge job creator, but through that program, local contractors then get the money over time to buy new vehicles and learn new skills, and then that's deployed in other industries around the park and the region. So a negative environmental impact is not just being turned into a short-term job creator, but also into a longer-term empowerment of people.
A key part of installing new infrastructure in the park is the replacing of signage. The major benefit of doing this now is that it can link to technology. There are GPS coordinates on the new signposts, and there's also an information tag which will link back to apps for smartphones, which will be available in different languages.
Because remember, visitors and being original, being a World Heritage Site, it's not just about the animals and the plants, it's also about the people that over hundreds of years have shaped this place. And throughout the park we are interpreting culture and bringing in the meaning of places and culture, taking original names with new names and mixing them, and then goes into a park map, it goes into the signage, it goes onto the website. So coming in here as a visitor, you will have an original experience, and for people who are the original inhabitants of this land, it's also a recognition of them and their history and their place, both in the past and their place in the future as part of this park.
Outside the park, public roads have been upgraded to provide easy routes between the southern, middle and northern reaches of Isimangaliso. Inside the park, infrastructure improvements are designed for public access and enjoyment.
Isimangaliso's competitive sort of attraction is it's a park you can do things in. You're not locked in a car. You don't have to sit in the car and look through that windscreen, which is like watching TV. We encourage people to get on the beach, to swim, to fish, to be able to get out of their cars, take a 180 meter up here, 180 meter walk up to a place like this and experience it firsthand. Go canoeing, go out on night drives, and that also creates the opportunities for small businesses, new entrances into the market, to actually develop it, whether it's a night drive, it's a fishing concessionaire, it's a boat concessionaire, it's a bird guide, it's going out horse riding, it's going on a wilderness trail.
The Isimangaliso Wetland Park Authority's commitment to balancing biodiversity and improving lives of people in surrounding communities is paying off in increasing visitor numbers. In doing so, the park sets the trend in conservation in Africa and the world.